Lucy Mworia Network, and thank you so much for the continued support. Today we are discussing different topic. That is the punitive financial bill 2023. With me, with Prof. Manyora.
Yes.
Prof, how are you?
Wonderful, Lucy.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's been a while.
Thank you very much.
But I knew you are the right person for this because I know you have our country at heart.
Sure. I'm a patriot at heart.
Yes. So, Prof, I've been worried about this bill.
Yes.
And the most striking thing in this bill is about the elderly.
Yes.
It is very unfortunate that despite all what the elderly going through in this country,
yes,
including poor health, increase of physical illnesses,
yes,
chronic pain,
yes,
side effects of cocktail of medications,
yes,
social isolations,
yes,
still our so-called government,
yes,
they are come up with a bill which is decreasing the allocation, the cash transfer for the elderly by 1.2%, which is very, very bad. It's like this country, this leadership does not care at all about our elderly in this country.
No, you know, the country is going through cash crunch. The country is having problems with resources, and therefore it will need to readjust. So we have to understand that. It's unfortunate that this may fall on the cutting cost may affect the elderly, but we have to understand from the general perspective that government is trying to cut costs here and there. But again, why would it be the elderly to suffer?
That's the question.
Because I get this impression we don't seem to understand that countries and societies are judged by how well they treat the vulnerable. What respect and appreciation do we show our elders? Most of these elderly people have contributed to bringing this country where it is, either directly through employment where they served, or even as just citizens. They toil day and night to educate the men and women who are running this country today. So we must actually show respect to them, and we must, and as Africans, honestly, an African is a person who is known to be social, to be family in nature, never to desert. We don't take our fathers and grandfathers to old people's homes, but it appears we are almost headed there. So government should rescind that decision of reducing the cash transfer. In any case, the cash transfers, we have not even hit 10% of what we ought to spend. This was experimental. We started with a handful of people, all elderly people. Then we increased. It was projected that by, I don't know which year, we will have encompassed every man and woman beyond 70 years. As it were, we are not even at 10-20% most likely. I don't have the figures, but I know we are far. So in every village or every location, if you find 50 people being paid this cash transfer, there are maybe 200-300 who are not being paid. So that means we are still in need of increasing the numbers in the net so that everyone beyond 70 gets those cash transfer. Then before we get there, how do we reduce?
And Prof, you are mentioning 70 years.
Yes.
By definition of an elderly person, yes, in any way it is 60 years.
Yes, yes.
In our country, the retirement age is 60 years.
Yes.
And why do we have to wait until 70 years? Actually, a lot of them that I've come across, they are already dead after 70. So is this what our country wants? There's no even accountability to what they have been giving. That we need to know since we started in 2012. Have they been replacing the ones who are already dead? Have they been recruiting new ones? There's no statistics like that.
Yeah, they know, but
no data.
If you look at the government records, they started with just a handful. They were supposed to increase this and finally embrace every one of them beyond 70. We are not even halfway. I've not been following, but I'm sure there has not been significant change. Yeah. So we are only reaching a handful, a small, tiny percentage. As to the age of 60 or 70, what do we need to do if you are talking about workers? We need to ensure that people are encouraged to save And this is not going to be possible if salaries are what they are today. So we need to have realistic salaries and then calculate the culture of saving among our peoples. And then have institutions through which people serve like NSSF, well streamlined, well managed, and have working pension schemes. So that we are saying, surely if you retired at 60, you're still active enough physically, you can do one or two things on your own, and then the pension can still sustain you for the 10 years. So that by the time you get 60, 10 years, 70, 10 years after retiring, we are looking at a person who may now actually need support, because even the energies begin to disappear, okay? And the pension you get may perhaps not be enough, but we need to strengthen pension and savings, pension schemes, so that people are not destitute after retirement.
But that is for those who are working.
Those who are working. And those who are not working, we need to move into the villages and have programs that make people active members of society and get involved in livelihoods, creation of livelihoods. I have in mind things like women groups. You don't stop being a member of a woman group of a chama because you are 60. You can, even an 80-year woman can. So if we strengthen those institutions, those avenues through women and men beyond 50, 60 can get actively engaged in gainful activities. So we are looking at such a woman who has been a member of a chama from the time she was 35. Surely even if she gets to 60, she's still active and she's not a destitute. But now even working for the chama will become a challenge as she grows older. And that is the point we are saying. That's the point at which we are saying government can now step in with the stipends, cash transfers. Yeah.
Before even we start following up, to make sure that even those who have been allocated, yes, they get even what they need to get. Yes. The government is here with a bill which is already deducting something which has not even been existing.
Yeah. It doesn't show seriousness on the part of the government. It doesn't
show seriousness on the elderly part.
Government doesn't appreciate that.
Now that, Professor, you said you have not been following.
Yes.
I've been following.
Okay.
And even the few who have been like piloting, yes, with their program,
yes,
there's no consistency. They have been getting between 5-6 months. That is when they get.
I hear from August they only got recently, I think.
Yes, if you get at that, you are employed, and if someone really is serious about your life, yes, and is giving you your salary,
6 months.
6 months later, how do you plan? These people need to eat, need to do things for themselves, monthly or daily, like, yes, anyone else. Yes, yes. How do you tell me we care about these people?
That's what I'm saying. It is like an afterthought to government.
The elderly are an afterthought.
An afterthought. It's not like an obligation they have. They must know it's an obligation, because like I've said it before, these are people who have made this country what it is. The people we are proud of today were brought up by these people. They fed them, they took them to school, they sacrificed, and therefore we cannot abandon them at their hour of need when they are old. We owe it to them. And some countries have even put legislation in place to ensure that young people take care of their parents. So this country should not make the elderly something, a nuisance, something you are doing just because this is in a kusumbua, so let me, an afterthought.
Again, even that cash transfer, it's not even been done the right way.
Yeah, even getting the children,
even getting it. Here you are, it's sent through a phone. How many of those?
Nobody should worry.
How many of those?
My father chased it. He died before getting at 90.
Does your father even have a phone?
My father died.
Can your father even access M-Pesa by himself?
Before he could get, and he was 90. So
yes.
So I'm talking about what I know. The last push, when they wanted to increase the number, they were now all of them asked to go. They were registered, and you went to somebody who can take when you are too weak. But it just died. Nothing happened. So I think they have not increased the number. Even
despite increasing the number, increasing or not increasing, deducting or not deducting, even the formula, the disbursement that they use, yes, the formula itself is wrong. So most of them are being killed by their children. The money comes through their phones, yes, because they do not, yes, go to masturbate and go to deeper inside rural areas.
We need to have better structures.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you must take cognizance of the fact that these are old people. Some of them are frail. Some of them are down with ailments. And some of them could even be unsighted, blind, and what have you. So we need to consider all those factors as we put a program in place of even just the disbursement.
That one is a problem by itself.
Yes, I know.
Besides deducting something which has not been existing.
Yes.
Because what are they deducting?
I know.
So they never even gotten it.
It's bad. It's sad, actually. Lucy, I can see ourselves walking into old people's homes.
They're already there.
They're already there. And this, just like mortuaries became a business. You know, it was never a business. Now it is a very serious business. Okay? I can see smart fellows moving into old people's homes. And before that culture of throwing your mom, your dear mother into an old people's home, before it becomes normal, before it is normalized, I think as a country we need to have a conversation, beginning with how do we treat those who leave service, those who hit a certain age, so that this destitute situation will not be the one that will make us automatically, inevitably begin to embrace old people's homes. That is going to be very bad.
But Prof, I cannot castigate 100% the old people's homes.
Yes.
There are cases that you cannot avoid having them there where they need the care. Someone maybe has dementia. They keep on walking on the streets. They are messing up. For their safety, they need to be somewhere.
That's
a fact.
Who will argue against it?
So there are cases.
That's like a hospital.
Yes,
who says the hospital
there are
is
cases
bad?
where you need the people. There's no one at home to monitor them. They are recovering from the hospital. They need to be somewhere where they can give them the care.
We need hospice. We need old people's homes.
Yes. So we need.
That's obvious.
Yes.
I'm saying I don't want it to be normalized. But I can see in my lifetime, people of my age are going to be thrown into old. So we must tell our children, we must teach them, we must encourage them to know the meaning of family. I'm not saying this because I'm an old man, but I'm saying it because it's what we ought to say. And it ought to be said loudly and strongly that it is an African for you to throw your mother into some old people's home. So that's not Africa. And we want Africa to give something to the world.
So
let the world learn that human beings can love each other. It's not just a question of functionality and utility. Because the moment you are no longer able to do this, then we can throw you into an old people's home. No.
So, Prof, before we wind up, I have the one last question concerning this punitive financial bill 2023. We are talking about by 2050. Our children will be lower than the old people.
Yes.
And actually, it's by the way we treat our young people today.
Yes.
They cannot even take care of a kid, not even one, besides taking care of 4 and 10 the way our parents did.
Yes.
Our young people have no jobs. You're talking about in Japan, they are paid if you have a child.
Yes.
Would anyone pay any girl here today if she has a child to increase the population?
In South Africa.
No one will. So here it will not happen. Our young people, they saw actually the hustlers of this country, I would say.
Yes.
They have no jobs, they are educated, they are just hanging out there. Now they start like content creation, just hustling to make something out of it.
Yes.
And our punitive financial bill 2023 comes with the taxing those young people, those who are struggling to make ends meet. Someone struggles to make those movies, make those comedies, at least to earn something. And our government says, we make sure that 15% of what you earn out of that. How is that, Professor, honestly? I
must defend government. Government must collect taxes. And government needs money more than ever before now because things are really tough for government. So I understand when government, I must start there, that I understand why government is coming up with this taxation. Government is in a tough position. If you are in that position of government today, you could also tax. So I agree with them.
Yeah.
But I also must ask government. People are doing what you should be doing, and they are doing it for you.
Yes.
You are supposed to help people
to get jobs.
Yeah. Now people are getting, like Sifuna said, mtu amenunua bundles zake.
Yeah.
Amefanya kitu yake amecheza kwa TikTok. Sasa wewe unafuata yeye akipata $2, unataka mgawane na yeye. I agreed with Sifuna. I have talked to the minister because I know him and we met and when we were just talking, I asked him, you know, the digital space is the place for the future. That's where the money is. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Africans, and especially Kenyans, are yet to scratch the surface. They are even late to understand that you can make money from YouTube. So what would government be doing? It will take people outside there to learn.
First of all,
to learn how Kenyans can begin to mine from the digital space, and come and encourage young people. If need be, give them support. I am looking at a situation where a government can even have a center where you can go and record your YouTube video for free.
In that
Instead
case,
of government doing that,
in that case, you can demand taxes.
they are now invading the little, even before we learn how to create content.
Discouraging them.
Without even knowing, the American government is already taxing that money.
Oh,
Because this thing is an American outfit.
they are creating jobs for their people.
Before your money comes to you, they take their taxes, and they are justified to take their taxes.
Because they created that.
And now, that's what I thought the minister would have done. Sit with the US government and tell them, please, these young people are trying. We are trying to create them to know them, to create jobs by them understanding how this space works.
Reduce these taxes.
Can you please waive the taxes for them for the next like 3 years? And then the government may listen. These governments listen. Let's help Kenyan young people, young men, boys and girls, to learn to create content and earn something from YouTube.
First of all, to learn.
So please, let's government to government, any account created in Kenya, let it be exempt from tax. Now, instead of working in that direction, already you pay through income tax. But now this is going to be a more direct tax, except I don't know how they will levy it. It is confusion, because a withholding tax is what is deducted from your amount by the person paying you. So who is this going to be? I think the people are also confused. But the bottom line is simple. The digital space, YouTube and others, is the in thing today. Let me also ask government to know this. The world of tomorrow, and this is what you must, if you are young people, if you are a young family, a young father or mother, you must know that the value of your child tomorrow will not be in the certificate they hold.
Skills.
Degree, first class honors, masters, PhD, no. Form 4A, no. The value of your child tomorrow will not be determined by the knowledge that they have. Because the knowledge of doing things is being overtaken by artificial intelligence, AI. So the world of tomorrow is a world of creativity. It is creators who will matter tomorrow. We are moving into a world of originality. AI cannot be original, it cannot be creative. So children must be encouraged to be creative. So by bringing this tax and by taxing digital earning, government is blocking children from operating in the world of tomorrow. It is not preparing children for the world of tomorrow. The world of tomorrow is not a world of knowledge as we know it. It's not the world of certificates. It's a world of creativity. Can your son be creative? How original is your daughter? Those are the people who will be well paid in society tomorrow. Because if you think you can do something from air, you are an accountant. Those things are being done by machines. What is it that can be done by a machine today? Oh, unajua kuchora nyumba takataka sijui nini. Unaweka kadi kwa kompyuta unachora nyumba. But creating, imagining those houses you see in Dubai, that's a human being. To be original, to be creative, and there's no better place to incubate that creativity than on the digital platform. And government must now go out of its way to encourage and support young people to occupy effectively that digital space, and they will begin bringing dollars in this country, euros in this country, much more than even anything, including diaspora money that comes here. In another 5 years, if this government encourages young people and talks to the US government to suspend tax, to waive tax for like 5 years, in 5-10 years from now, money that you get from tea and coffee and pyrethrum combined and money from the diaspora will not even be a quarter of what young people will be bringing here
this country
through through the digital space.
My final question, Prof, on the same punitive financial bill 2023 is about earpiece, wigs. And again, it's about the job creation. You have discussed about the young boys and all these with content creation. Like about 100% of the young women in this town. And I've met some even after the proposed bill. They cannot run their salons anymore. This is where they wake up, they go, they start braiding the hair. Now the earpiece, it is exorbitant, it is increased. And imagine when, you know, when the earpiece goes up, the cost of braiding your hair also goes up. So are we creating jobs or killing them again?
In the immediate, yes, we are killing jobs. But in the long term, it may be productive. It may be productive because then people will be innovative in terms of what things can we do. For example, this so-called human hair. I hear it comes from banana fiber. So in the future, we shall make this human hair from Kisi. And that will be more job creation.
Prof,
yes.
You just said if the government was a caring government, they would have started centers in promoting the youth, to exposing them to be doing their content creation for free. Now, before we would have started increasing taxes on import. We should have looking for alternatives. Ata kama ni hiyo banana leaves from, they would have come up with it to say, now this is cheap, we have come out in a nice way, and our women will look as beautiful as they want through the banana leaves. But now here it is coming, you cut the cow before you milk.
That's wrong, that's wrong. It's too abrupt, I understand. It will have an immediate impact of sending some people home from where they work.
They already started going.
So that is the government, have said before, ought to be sensitive and mindful of the welfare of the people. And if there's anything, any measure government does or puts in place that cuts even one job, government must consider before it does. And that's what governments do across the world. So I'm asking this government to learn from other governments in the world. Take measures that cut jobs. It's almost immoral. Because see, you are discussing about elderly. Do you know that lady who is losing her shop in a salon because of this taxation measure? That will translate to her not sending the 200 she sends to the father at home.
See?
So you have affected somebody else. So that's why we say before you interfere with the livelihoods, be very careful, because that person who earns 5 shillings wherever they work, it's not for them alone. They may only just take 200. The other 3 is spread to other people. Your mother at home, your sister who delivered the other day, she has nothing to eat. You send her 150, at least she can buy omena. So this is how Africa is. And before you know how Africa works, before you know how Kenya works, you can be atop there and making policies that affect people so negatively. Because one salary in this country, before even Ruto taxes these salaries, he must know one salary feeds so many people. This is the nature of this country, the nature of Africa. That when you earn your 20,000, you yourself may not get more than 10,000 out of that. This other 10 goes to different people. You support many other people. It's a whole chain, from your parents to your siblings to somebody who was doing some small work for you, and that's the only way he's able to put food on the table for that day. So that one employee in Nairobi, the people who depend on him in the chain, if government knew that one salary they are attacking with the taxes, the chain of people who depend on this one salary, government will think twice before they implement the taxation. Before they invade those pay slips, they would know that that one payslip you are harassing is taking care of many people, some of them vulnerable, old, sick, disabled. And the government would have thought before they came up with this finance bill, because it attacks people on whom many other people depend, especially the elderly.
Viewers, as we round up, this punitive financial bill 2023 is affecting, it is inflicting pain to so many people. Your parents, students, sick people at the hospitals, everyone. Let us all join hands and fight this bill until they come up with the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy.
Prof.